Good evening, folks. Welcome to the Student Corner. This is Shukaman. My name is Michel.
And I'm Lauren, and today with us we have Jasper Hunsinger.
Thank you, Lauren. I'm really happy to be here, and thank you,
Yeah,
Michelle.
It's
thanks for
great to have
joining
you here,
us.
Jasper. How's it going?
Yeah, it's going good. Just trucking along with work at the library. We had a meeting about the archives project on Monday. Um, Finishing up some stuff on the library end to send over to the web developer. Like it's really coming along, but having some hiccups with my thesis research because the government shut down. I can't go to
Oh
the
yeah.
archive.
I
Oh,
hate when that happens.
like the
Yeah.
National Archives?
Yeah, like I was talking to my reader. Him and Jabnoon have like tirelessly been tearing me to shreds.
Very
And
good.
he said you should go to Nara in Maryland because they have this
Yeah.
records of the U.S. consulate in Bahrain and Saudi. Went to visit all of the Trucial sheikhs in the Trucial states, and they were quite openly, bellyaching about their treatment at the hands of the British.
What
And he
year was
said,
this?
this would have been in the 40s and 50s.
Okay.
So this is just when they're sort of signing the oil exploration agreements.
Right.
And so they're saying, "Oh, I can't believe they're treating us this way. They got so much money in Bahrain, and you want me to accept this many rupees? You're out of your damn mind."
Right. So just to clarify, your
Right,
thesis,
yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah, sorry.
your thesis is about the Trucial states, which came to be known as the United Arab Emirates.
Yes, and I just want to clarify when I say Trucial states, chronologically speaking, that would have also included Bahrain and Qatar.
Mm.
They were originally in the talks for unification in a nine emirate um, a federation, but I'm only focusing on the seven emirates,
Sure.
much to the chagrin of my advisors who suggested
Oh,
I focus on all nine, but this is a master's thesis. We don't have time for that.
maybe in
Right.
your PhD.
Yeah, I'm hoping to turn this into a PhD dissertation. So
Right.
Yeah.
currently, right now, I'm looking at the seven emirates that formed the United Arab Emirates. I'm tracing the rise of basically absolute monarchy.
Well,
Um, I think that, we've, I think this is an area in Arab studies that is a little bit theoretically dry,
hmm
and I'm suggesting that we look back at this period and really understand how did absolute monarchy come about when really it wasn't the tradition, it wasn't the dominant mode of
right.
governance, but in the 20th century, what emerges is sort of this new hands-on, very intensive form of colonialism on the part of the British that is really that they're really imagining these rulers, everybody from King Hussein in Jordan
hmm
to Sheikh Bout in Abu Dhabi, not really being just like a sheikh among sheikhs anymore, but really becoming like a strong man who has sovereignty over all his territory, can preside over these massive projects of,
Right.
constructing airfields.
And with modern
It's-
media,
Yeah,
television, radio.
yeah, there's a little bit of like fostering national identity, but it's really about like extraction and security
Of
and
course.
Yeah.
So, Jasper, you spent your summer researching for your thesis.
yeah, I did.
This is your summer between your first and second year at this program, the Arab
Yes.
Studies program. Tell us about your trips. Where did you go? What did you learn? How was it?
Yeah. Um, so I started off, I kind of felt like a fish out of water at first because my
Right.
first stop was Oxford at the Middle East Center Archives, which there was so much material. I wasn't necessarily sure how to start, but the like first people I talked to were, of course, the archivist there, Debbie Usher, and Professor Eugene Rogan, who came and spoke in our class
Yeah.
because as it turns out, he uh, has a current PhD student. His name is Joseph, and he sat down with me and said, "Listen, I've seen all of this stuff that you're about to look at. You have to do X, Y, Z." I wasn't able to look at everything that I wanted to look at, but I said, "Whatever." I did one day at Exeter.
hmm
I loved it. I looked at the papers of the political resident of the Persian Gulf, which they used to call him Fehmet Rais al Khalij. So his the puffed up president of the Gulf.
Right.
which was sort of this position that was like a holdover from the East India Company. Used to be like an East India Company official presiding over all of their interests,
Of course.
which eventually just transferred into like a Foreign and Commonwealth Office position that was responsible for like administrating all of Britain's different colonial possessions in the Gulf.
Okay.
So I looked at that. And I went to Abu Dhabi. I looked at some papers and collections in actually NYU, Abu Dhabi's library and special collections. And then I went home for a little bit. I was supposed to go to Oman to study abroad. It was an Arabic language study abroad program, and it got canceled. And so I ended up just going to the UK and crashing with my girlfriend. She was like subletting an apartment and doing an internship. And so I just spent
Very
basically every day.
Was it in London?
Yeah, I was in London. So I spent basically every day at the British Library.
Oh my
That's
god.
nice. Wait, I want to back up. What's got you interested in this topic in the first place? Like, why research this?
So actually last spring I read Monsoon Revolution by Abdurrazzaq Takriti. And I realized he also had written a little bit on the Trucial states. He had an article that was called Colonial Coups and the War on Popular Sovereignty, where basically the argument there is, the popular revolution has been beaten to death. What about the coup d'etat? And that for me was kind of like the moment. I was like, okay, there's the lacuna. There's the absence in scholarship. There's all of this there are all these instances in the history of the Arabian Peninsula where, rulers preside over these states that, in the Khaldunian sense, don't have a lot of asabiyya. So they get overthrown very easily.
Right. These are colonial states or post-colonial states in a sense.
Well, yeah, I guess I'm talking here about like in the pre-colonial sense. These are not like states with like very strong bureaucracies with like a monopoly on violence.
Right.
But what happens when the British come in is they kind of stop this and they establish like hereditary dynasties and bureaucracies where the linchpin is the ruler, the monarch. And I think people have kind of taken this for granted in scholarship. They're like, there's this assumption that this is somehow traditional, which is like, yeah, it's quite racist. It's Orientalist. You think that, that this is somehow like an ancient mode of governance suitable for people that are frozen in time.
Right.
So,
it's extremely modern.
But no, yeah, that's my argument. It is extremely modern. It's extremely recent. I mean, the UAE was created in 1971.
Right. Even the title Malik King, I don't think it was used in a widespread manner before these modern post-colonial states came to being.
Oh no, the first instance in which that was even used in the Gulf was Bahrain. And even before, it used to be Emir. But then that sort of switch, that was associated. I think the first book that I read that really dealt with that was this book called Contested Modernity by Amr al-Shihabi. And he said, and he like quite explicitly associates this like move towards calling the head of state Malik with like the rise of like a modern like state bureaucracy and like the police and all like the move of the capital from Harraq to Manama.
Yeah.
And like the rise of like the modern Bahraini state. So I think you hit the nail right on the head.
How do you like London? Other than the
Oh,
other than the library.
other than the library, I love London. There's so much history. I got to see the house where T.E. Lawrence lived. That was really funny. Yeah.
Picture on the Instagram.
So for me, I was kind of nerding out a little bit. I like went to
As you
T.E.
should.
Lawrence's house. I went to Friedrich Engels' house.
Oh,
and I saw
really?
like Marx's tomb. So
Love
I was like
Marx.
walking throughout history and like nerding out. It was of course like really cool to spend time with my girlfriend and like travel. We did like a
Yeah.
road trip around Scotland too.
Oh, beautiful.
So like
You went to Edinburgh.
yeah, I ran into Professor Sama Abi Mershad in Edinburgh.
Edinburgh.
Oh yeah.
He was on vacation.
So random.
He was on vacation with his with his wife and his kid.
That's very sweet. But that's
Yeah.
crazy. I imagine being in Edinburgh and you just
And you just see your professor.
that shit.
I know, yeah. So like I can never really escape Arab studies.
Good.
I
Good.
just realized that. And that's kind of I think I'm just
Beautiful.
destined for Arab studies at this point. So I think PhD is the path for me.
I'd love to hear it.
Sounds like a natural progression for you. Well, I was also curious because you're from California, right?
Yeah.
So what brings you here all the way to DC, like specifically for this mass program?
I really, when I came to Georgetown, I had no idea what mass was.
Right.
I
Right,
was
'cause
really
you did
interested.
undergrad here
Yeah.
as well, right?
I came into Georgetown really being enamored with the idea of foreign service. I thought I'm going to be a diplomat.
Yeah.
Oh,
Um,
how things change.
And I took Arabic. I was like vaguely interested. I always loved learning foreign languages. Like my number one favorite class throughout high school, elementary school, even was Spanish class because you know in California everybody has to take Spanish in the public school system.
Oh yeah.
So I was that, you know, I've already taken so many Spanish classes, I'll take another language, and maybe if I'm not good at it, I'll go back to Spanish. Turns out I wasn't good at Arabic, but I just kept doing it because I was so interested. And I realized that there was like this whole other, there's this whole other literature of like history books I'd never read. And I met really amazing people, and I realized that like the Center for Contemporary Arab Studies was like the place par excellence to study like the Arab world, not the Middle East, the Arab world,
Right.
and that really drew me in.
Okay.
Well, did you have a, I mean, you said you maybe started undergrad interested in the foreign service. Did you have a moment where you realized that's not what you wanted to do?
Yeah, October 7th.
Yeah.
So, like, uh, not to take it to a, I guess, too dark of a place, but I think that was a time that really, like, that really changed for me because, like, the role model I feel for me in that moment was a CCAS professor, Professor Khaled El-Gindi. I was taking his class, Palestinian politics, and I think his sort of commitment to like scholarship in a time like that was it was really like I really admired him, and also like he would get up from class like in the middle of class to go speak on like a television, whether it was like a radio station, somebody else's podcast, or even like live television, and talk about Palestinian politics, and people really gave him a hard time. And that was something I learned was just not even unique to now, but throughout his whole career as sort of like an like Arab American in the public eye was like people gave him a hard time for just like even having an inkling of like pro-Palestinian sentiment. And I just really realized that, you know, to be suspected of being pro-Arab
Right.
in America uh, was something that could really, you know, like it was almost like a scarlet letter. Um, but for me, like seeing CCAS and seeing like a whole cohort of like academics and professionals who weren't like scared of this stigma, um, who weren't scared of, you know, like the typical taboos of like American foreign policy. I think that was what I realized about Georgetown was very stale. Was very stale. And here I found people who weren't like beholden to that. I thought that was exciting. I found people who like cared and wanted to do right by the world, whether that was like through studying history, through diplomacy, through anything. I mean, this to me was like an example of how to carry yourself like as a scholar, but also like as a professional.
Right. Yeah. I'm really happy you've had this experience, Jasper. And to be honest, I've had a similar experience. You know, you come here, you meet people from such different backgrounds, all very intelligent, well-read people, open for conversation. It's been a great place. I want to ask you, Jasper, you worked at the library too
Yeah.
this summer, was it?
Yeah, that started like summer 2024.
Okay.
So the person who worked before me, it's like a relatively new new position.
Mm.
The position is like the Middle East Librarian's Assistant.
Let's
And
go.
so the first person to hold that position was Ali Tahami,
Okay.
who's also a math student. So it was sort of set up because we have all of these materials, all of these books at the library that are in Arabic, Persian, Turkish, and Hebrew, and so we have the Middle East Studies librarian Ryan.
Ryan Zohar.
Yeah, and there are also other like area studies librarians, but just to really give Ryan some credit, what's asked of him is a little bit more than the other like area studies librarians because it's 4 languages and
Yeah.
a massive region encompassing so
And
many.
he speaks all four.
Um, well,
He speaks
he can
Persian,
read
Yeah.
all four.
Hebrew.
Yeah,
Yeah, we spoke to him about this
yeah.
on
So
this the show.
I won't speak on his behalf, but the idea is like the position was established to help Ryan, and so first it was Ali, and then it was me, and it's sort of evolved from just like like scanning books
Right.
and adding them to the library collection to helping with this CCAS 50th anniversary project,
Mm.
Oh, nice.
um, and also like managing the collections related to CCAS that are in the library, like digitizing some of those and having them live online on the libraries like Digital Georgetown, and also just like going into the CCAS archives that are held in special collections and just like figuring out what is there.
Right.
Um,
And how have you enjoyed it?
I love working at the library. I um, was really excited by it even before I started working there because I met Ryan through Professor Rochelle Davis, and through a class I took with her. We went to Egypt as part of that class, and he came along with
Oh
us.
my god.
Oh,
And I
really?
remember like we were at the Egyptian National Library, and he and I were like absolutely losing our minds. I I was like, this is my first time here. Like this is not your first time here, Ryan, because he'd gone on the trip before, and he was like, no. In my position as the Middle East Studies librarian, yeah, I go to Egypt with Professor Davis, and then I bring books back for the library. And I was like, oh, to be a library,
That's
this
the
is
life.
exciting.
Well, it sounds like you've really found your. It's like a perfect fit for you, Jasper. Working with Ryan in the library.
Yeah, and I mean, he also, I mean, aside from just like being my boss, also sort of like, um, I think like pushes me. He gives
Yeah.
me reading suggestions. He's like
Oh,
looked over like proposals for me when I like submit stuff, whether that's to like conferences or to like grants or something.
nice.
Helps me with my research. So it's I love doing the work because I think archives are awesome, and it's really exciting to be part of this process where I'm like building an archive,
Right.
especially like
Yeah.
a public facing archive. Um,
It's real work.
yeah.
Yeah.
But it's also awesome to have like to have like the personal relationship with Ryan and
Right.
like have this is really part of my like support network with like CCAS as well.
I'm glad to hear it. He's a
Yeah.
great guy. So you're set on a PhD.
As of right now, yeah.
Tell
Good
me,
stuff.
have you reconsidered it? Have you had doubts with the current academic climate affected by the current political climate? Funding, lack thereof.
I think yeah, I've had doubts. Um I've also had like, like conflicting advice from different people. Some people have told me, like stay in the US because this is the only place where universities have the most funding. Some people have told me, US academia is kaput. You should go study in Britain. Um, so I'm just trying to, keep a balanced perspective, and that's also where
Yeah.
like libraries and archives comes in. Is that like essentially I don't have to put all my eggs in one basket with academia, and I'm very much open to this idea of like going and working in libraries and archives as a more permanent arrangement if a
Right.
PhD doesn't work out.
It's
But
honest work, and
yeah,
you're close to books.
yeah. But even still, I'm still looking at PhD programs in the U.S. and the U.K.
Okay. Okay.
What are you looking to do? Like, what are you looking to specialize in?
So two programs that I really have my eyes on right now are uh, PhD in uh, a PhD in history at Oxford and a PhD in Middle East politics at Exeter, because Oxford has the Middle East Center archive.
Right.
They have like the Middle East Center there has a very long history, and so much amazing scholarship has come out of there. Um, so they're really, I view them as like really kind of like a titan, and so it would be great to work there and really do just like an archival driven project on the Gulf, because they have like really extensive holdings on the Gulf, especially like the UAE and Oman. Um, but also the University of Exeter also has like very extensive holdings on the Gulf, and they have the Center for Gulf Studies there is really like the first place to really like look at the Gulf as a cohesive region.
Mm.
Um, and I think this is like new and exciting to me.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to balance like I'm still trying to I'm still kind of figuring this out. What archives will I be using? Trying to make sure my Arabic is good because I want to engage as many Arabic sources as
For
I
sure.
can.
Yeah.
Lifelong process, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it never ends.
yeah, but
Yeah.
in the end, I think I'm committed to this idea, if one could say, like of Gulf studies
Okay. That's good.
for the
It's
long term.
yeah. It's an
Very
up
cool.
and coming field with a lot of interest and a lot of good work to be done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and like and yeah, we really need new ideas for like
Definitely.
a new era, especially critical ideas. I mean, like critical Gulf studies is like a very small group of academics, but I think they hold a lot of weight right now because nobody else is talking about it.
Right.
So like, um, and I'm not saying this as like, and I'm not saying this as like a discount or anything. I think no, it's exciting, and there are really exciting ideas coming out of this field, and I just want to be part of that.
Right.
Part of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So Jasper, I want to ask you if there's a younger person who's interested in academia and pursuing that path, what advice would you give them?
For me, what helped me realize like this was something I could seriously do was I felt like I didn't really struggle with burnout, that I consistently felt interested, that things like networking weren't hard for me because I was seriously, interested in meeting people in the field, and I found like the conversations exciting, and I constantly felt like I wasn't just networking as a chore, but really, meeting people that I felt excited by. So I think you have to, if you want to consider academia, I think you should do it for passion, and you should really think about just like yeah, uh, am I able to do the work without getting burnt out, without thinking, what's it all for?
Okay.
If you feel it's gratifying and you're passionate about it, then like if there's nothing else stopping you, of course funding and like
Sure.
the fact that there's not a lot of jobs in it could stop you, but I think if the passion is there,
It's worth the pursuit.
then I think it's worth the pursuit, because for me it's been
Yeah.
incredibly gratifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's your secret to not burning out. You've never felt burnt out.
I can't
And
relate.
I was about
Oh
to
boy.
say, are you?
Well, I'm only 22, so
Oh,
maybe I could
what do you
so
mean?
maybe I could burn out because
You went straight from undergrad to
I
this
went
program.
straight from
Yeah, sure.
undergraduate to mass. Like I started mass when I was still technically an undergraduate, like senior, like
Right, and
fourth
Right.
that's
So
an
year.
the
option.
accelerated
So
program, sure.
for me, it's just been like nonstop excitement and curiosity. So maybe that'll slow down eventually, but I don't know. I'm like very optimistic.
No,
Very
I
good.
love it. Use your passion to drive you,
It's yeah,
as
it's
you said.
inspiring.
Yeah, I'll take note. Well, and then okay, I'm thinking about Jasper. We have a class together this semester, just
Yeah.
documentary filmmaking. I'm curious because our assignment at the end is ideally, that we make a documentary, or at least we
Yeah.
kind of start on like we have a solid plan that we could put into works maybe over the summer if we're doing research or something once we graduate. But I'm curious, do you have any plans yet for what kind of documentary you want to make? Is it linked to your thesis at all, or is it something completely different?
Yeah, so I talked to Professor Joan Mandel about this, and she said, "Go, and she said, "Go ahead, I'd love to watch it." My idea is to uh, try and interview all of the people who were involved in this process of creating the CCAS archive, this like CCAS 50th anniversary project, which has entailed so much, uh, so much like cataloging, so much like compilation of materials, everything from like photos to even like to from photos to like tapes to VHS recordings of lectures, and some people even did oral history interviews.
Yeah.
Um, and we have of course, the archives here, and as well as like literally we made the archives out of everybody's offices in the hall here. We like went in and grabbed stuff and put it in a banker's box and then said, okay, we're gonna just organize it all.
Yeah.
um, I really want to showcase that process, and kind of like hopefully be like narrative format. So a lot of it is going to be me like like reenacting stuff because
Oh yeah,
we
yeah.
didn't think
Good.
to do
Sure,
of
to
this
film it
when it was
right.
happening. Kicking myself now, but
No.
all the people are still here.
Yeah.
It's true,
Um,
yeah.
and all the people are still here, and all the materials are still here. And this is like the narrative that isn't going to get published is all of these conversations that we had, and the actual process, and just like I want to really capture, yeah, what does it take to make something
Make
like
an
this
archive,
happen,
yeah. Yeah.
and the cooperation and the different skill sets that were involved.
Very cool.
Yeah,
And
that's
like,
cool.
yeah, and the fact that this became like not just like a CCAS project, but just so many people were involved, and I really want to capture
Yeah. You're like documenting the documentation
that.
of the
Yeah, so
documentation.
we're
It's
getting into
kind of getting
like
kind of
we're getting
meta
into some
there.
like Inception
Yes,
Yeah.
Inception.
Right.
Yeah.
So Jasper, I wanna ask you another thing. So obviously you're an academic, but you're also politically engaged. What does that mean to you?
Politically engaged. One text that had a really big impact on me was Theodore Adorno wrote this essay called Resignation,
Hmm.
where he's essentially like criticizing the new left and the activist movements of his time, and justifying his stance as an academic, not really tying his work into any sort of political plan. And I think about this all the time, like
Yeah.
the title Resignation. It's like, what does the current moment demand of academics? I think it demands a lot. I think this is something that I've sort of grappled with from the moment I like became interested in academia, which was, this is Arab studies, this is Middle East studies. There's a crazy legacy in this field, um, where like the text everybody is introduced to is Said, um, where which the thesis is that academia has been used to disenfranchise and to keep people down, and to foster exploitation. Um, and I think that to be, I and I think ultimately there's like an ultimatum that academics eventually face, because what was ultimately the critique of Said, it was that the Orientalists were resigned from a political program, that their work was politically neutral,
Right.
and that what they were doing was just scholarship.
In their mind.
In their mind, it was just scholarship.
Yeah.
I think that being an academic and being politically engaged go hand in hand. You have to be conscious of what your scholarship is contributing to when it goes out into the world.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think for me this is like precisely I think for me this is precisely why I'm interested in critical scholarship, because I don't want to be involved in knowledge just for the sake of knowledge. Sure, it could be a noble pursuit, but I really want my work to be read, and I really want to I would really like it to be in conversation with, not really doing what people like in history say, like, writing from the present and then, transposing our current understandings of things onto the past. But I really hope for at some point in the future, if I ever do publish something, for it to be like uh, in conversations
Yeah.
and, part of the way people like are questioning the world we live in and also the stories we tell about the past.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you certainly have the vision, Jasper, and I believe you have the ability. I'm excited to see what work you produce.
Yeah, I want to read it.
Yeah.
So, one parting question you wanted to
Oh, sorry, I just touched the
ask
table.
about music.
Oh yeah.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, I think this might be my last question, but remember when we first met, Jasper, we bonded over trying to figure out, well, I was trying to figure
Yeah,
out the
yeah.
music scene here in
Yeah, I
DC, and
remember
you had
that.
so many insights. So I was just wondering maybe if you could share with us some more like your interests in the DC music scene here,
I mean,
like what you're involved in.
I guess involved is like you're giving
Or
me
what
too
you
much
enjoy.
credit.
Okay,
Yeah.
what do you
No,
enjoy?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I was just but no, yeah, I love music. Music has been one of these things like that's always been like a pastime of mine and like a passion ever since I was a little kid. I mean, I started playing the guitar when I was like 9 years old.
Wow.
My parents got me like a took me to like the guitar center and got me a guitar, and I still have it. It's still in my
Oh.
apartment. And it probably needs to get taken in for an intonation because it's probably warped like to oblivion. But I love music. I love playing music. Um, I also dabbled with like creating electronic music, and I had a radio show on the Georgetown Student Run Radio
Oh, cool.
for a little bit as an undergraduate, which was basically just a place for me to like play whatever music I thought was like interesting and talk about like, oh, well, this just came out and this person just played a show in this place and uh, this is like what is cool and this is what's passe.
Hmm.
Um, and that like eventually translated into me like there was like an arts and culture magazine on the Georgetown campus and
What's it
like
called?
it's called the Georgetown
I
Independent.
saw them.
Yeah, it still exists. I mean, they table just like released an issue.
Right.
So yeah, those were like the friends that I made it at Georgetown were like also people who were like artistically, musically inclined.
Yeah.
They like they were the ones that like introduced me to the music scene in DC. I mean, like one of my favorite bands from DC is called the Mesthetics.
Mm.
Um, and they're a trio. It's two of the former members from Fugazi,
Oh.
which is like DC's like
Punk, yeah, like the
prize
early
jewel.
like origins
Really? I
of
didn't know they were from DC.
yeah.
And then also
Yeah.
the guitarist, his name is Anthony Parag, and he was like my friend's guitar teacher.
Whoa.
So
Sounds cool.
there's and also what's it called the drummer from Fugazi, Brendan Canty, also like comes and teaches. Um, he comes and like visits in like guest lectures in classes at Georgetown too. So
That's cool. Yeah, I didn't know
um, there's like I think Georgetown kind of uh put me into this position where I could like maneuver around like maneuver around like the musical DC.
that.
We
Yeah,
like these
yeah.
bands and also like the magazine and also Georgetown Radio um gave me the opportunity to like attend concerts as a journalist
Oh yeah.
and write
Mm.
promotional material and also
It's a very
interview
different experience.
yeah and also interview local artists
Very cool.
That's cool.
which is cool. There's like an artist called Kuru. He's like uh he does
Yeah.
like some kind of like hip hop stuff and like it's like very electronic and was very much born out of like 2020 and like people like what's it called producing music on like Discord and uploading it on
Mm.
SoundCloud, and that was kind of my world. And so
Gotta check that
um
out.
what's it called and so like I got to interview him, and that was like a total like fanboy moment for
Cool.
me
Oh yeah.
because I didn't even realize that he's from like Montgomery County, Maryland,
Yeah.
and I didn't even realize that, and he was just opening for like a out of town artist in DC,
Hmm.
and I was just like, DC is where it's DC is the place to be,
Ah.
as the whole world is performing in DC.
They really do. What might be controversial? What's the best music venue here in DC,
Best,
and the worst.
the best and the best and the worst. You know, I really like the Black Cat, but they seem to always have sound issues at the Black Cat.
Yeah.
What's it called? Maybe okay, maybe the worst is because people try and pretend like the Merriweather Post Pavilion is a DC music venue. Like they advertise Merriweather concerts in the metro, and Merriweather is in like it's in Columbia, Maryland. It's
Yeah,
not a
it's far.
it's not a DC music venue. So maybe like I love a lot of the venues that I've been to. So maybe I'll do a cop out answer and say Merriweather because
That's acceptable.
it's not actually a DC music venue,
Uncontroversial.
but it's
Yeah, not
advertised as a
controversial,
DC music venue.
Right.
Okay,
Um,
I'll take that. That's fair.
And I'll say favorite Rhizome because I've seen like some of my friends from Georgetown perform there, and that's pretty cool.
That's really cool.
It's a really cool space.
Well, Jasper, thank you for this
Yeah,
thoughtful
thank
conversation.
you.
We'll be excited to see the work you do for your thesis and at the library. And yeah, hope to have you around again.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle and Lauren. This has been really nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thanks, Jasper. Do I get one?
Yeah, of
Okay.
course.
All right, folks, thank you for joining us this evening. We look forward to seeing you in our future episodes.
Thank you.